How did I say I was going to start this? I just literally like thought it all out, and now I totally have forgotten. Oh my God, what a professional I am. Anyway, we are the Sticky Bandits. My name is Andrew.
My name is Luke.
Normally we are interacting from totally different states, but Luke came down to visit me, and so we are sitting here next to each other in front of a single microphone, and we just had about an hour-long discussion about Helldivers 2.
It's mostly a bitch fest, so strap in.
We said some nice things in there, but we just thought the discussion was interesting, and hope you enjoy. So let's chat about Helldivers for a second. I wrote down a couple of like little things that I think we could talk about here.
Yeah.
But like, Helldivers 2 was such a good game when it first started.
The hype was real, man.
Oh my gosh, we had so much fun. Like, I couldn't stop thinking about that game when we started playing it.
Yeah, like I'd go to work and I'd think about playing it. I'd watch YouTube videos and just make me want to go play it.
Yeah, I just couldn't get enough Helldivers in me. I just wanted all of it.
Uh-huh.
It was so fun, and it was just a good time with friends.
And I remember saying this to you before, but it felt like a living organism because like the war was always ongoing. While you weren't playing it, and so it felt like alive.
Like I downloaded the app to my phone so I could like keep tabs on the war. It was just like
for Helldivers.
Yeah, it just kind of felt like there was this extra layer to it. Like playing the game was fun, but like paying attention to how the game progressed was also really fun. Like, and it just seemed like when it dropped, like, there was just so many different directions it could go, and there were so many things that we were hoping that they would add, and like the way that they would reward you for doing things, and you take this planet, and then there's a thing on that planet, and now we get the thing. Like now you got mech suits, and like, what? That's so cool.
Yeah.
Like, we have to like work together to unlock shit. Like it just had so many things going for it. And then all of a sudden, we just dropped it.
Yeah, it just fell off a cliff.
It wasn't like we just, like, slowly started playing less and less. It was just, like, one day we were just like, nah, we're done with this game now. Like, so what the fuck happened?
It's hard to say. I think the bugs really started to pile up. Certain things about certain mission types you just had to avoid. The negative effects on some of the missions, you really had to like see different operations and like, hey, do we get one less stratagem for this mission? Oh, okay, we're just not going to play that operation.
That.
Like that sucked so much of the fun out of those operations that you could only play and just trying to wait out the ones that are like, okay, that one doesn't have the three stratagem one. We can play that one.
Well, yeah, and I think what you're getting into is just like the dev team. They caught lightning in a bottle, because I feel like the game at release, even with the server issues where they couldn't handle the influx of players, I think, like, in spite of that was like the only one glaring issue, and otherwise the game just was great. Like once you got in and you could play, like everything was great. I don't feel like the bugs that we were hitting in those early days were even like that big of a deal.
The other thing too was the balance patches they tried to push out.
Yeah, I mean,
things that they nerfed like were staples for like the railgun is the infamous one that everybody highlights,
and that's kind of like where my head is at. Like I think the devs didn't understand their own success.
No.
They didn't understand
100%.
what made the game fun and know how to change things to make it more fun.
Or just change things to make things different so that the fun could keep going.
Yeah. And there's just so many different levers that you can pull in a game like this to try and balance things.
Yeah.
I mean, they talked about that one thing, like, you have the gun stats, and they say you see like 5 and there's something like 24 or something crazy like that. And I think that kind of applies game-wide. There are just so many things that you can tweak and change to improve game balance, and they just haven't quite dialed it in yet. And we jumped back in a week or two ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that, maybe 2 weeks.
And it just like didn't feel like it was any different, even after we'd taken a big break from it.
Yeah.
So it's
hashtag Elden Ring DLC.
Yeah, Elden Ring was occupying 100% of my life for that. But yeah, we're kind of getting done with Elden Ring stuff, I think.
Yeah, it's winding down finally.
And it would be nice to go back to Helldivers. There's that big update coming up, and it would be fun to jump back into
it on August 6th. So yeah,
the 8th.
A week. It's over.
Isn't it the 8th?
I thought it was the 6th.
Something like one of those 2 days. Pretty sure it's an even number.
Yeah.
But it's like what would it take to like make Elden Ring good for us?
You mean Helldivers?
Or what would it take? Yeah, what would it take to make?
You're still on the Elden Ring.
I just really liked Elden Ring. So yeah, like what would it take to get Helldivers back to like a fun spot? Like what about it wasn't working, and what do you think needs to happen for it?
It's just hard to put your finger on it. I feel like you can only play those higher difficulty missions feasibly, just like as a casual person with 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
And like if you play on those lesser difficulties, it just doesn't feel hard enough, if that makes sense.
And it's crazy
Sometimes.
that they have so many difficulties.
Yeah, we're going
adding
up to 10.
another one.
Yeah, we're getting 10 for some reason.
Like what's even
Super
the
Helldive.
difference between like difficulty 5 and 6? I don't even know.
It's really, really gray, yeah.
I don't know why they have so many different difficulties, because it's just so hard to tell the difference between them. It just becomes this like grayscale.
Well, and back to
difficulty.
that, like we play on difficulty 7 almost exclusively, because that just felt like the sweet spot.
Yeah,
because
it's
we
like
could
you
still
could
get all the resources
Yeah.
that we needed to upgrade things, and still have enough of a challenge to where it felt fair but fun at the same time.
And yeah, and that's the big thing. Like if I think that was kind of the big problem with some of the balance changes, is that they give us difficult situations, give us hordes of monsters, give us tons of bigger enemies that require anti-tank, but you also have to give players tools to deal with that. Because if I'm just running in a circle with 3,000 monsters chasing me around and I'm just like waiting on a cooldown, that's not fun.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, and it's not like a skill thing either.
No, it's a hurry up and wait situation.
Yeah, like herding cats isn't fun.
No.
It's not a demonstration of skill. Like I wasn't struggling with Helldive because I was bad at the game. I was struggling with Helldive because the balance didn't feel right.
Yeah, it just didn't feel fair.
Like I was waiting on this extra long cooldown because of the planetary effects for the extra difficulties, and I had one less stratagem to deal with stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, use your stratagems, but then they take them away. Like, how are you supposed to deal with that?
Yeah. And that was one of the good changes, that they finally got rid of that modifier.
In fact, they've gotten rid of a lot of modifiers because they were just
detrimental to your success, so much so that people weren't playing those missions.
Yeah.
They were actively avoiding them.
It wasn't even like at odds with success. It just wasn't fun. Like those are not fun challenges to work around.
No, not at all.
Like a fun challenge is like, holy shit, there are way more like smaller enemies on this planet, so anti-tank isn't as helpful.
Oh, clearing chaff in this game, may I say though, is my favorite thing to do. I love clearing the chaff and the smaller enemies. But that's my favorite.
The difficulty rarely ramps that up.
Yeah, it's always the big armored enemies.
Yeah,
that you have to use so many resources to take down.
The difficulty is never centered around like giving you more enemies. It's centered around giving you more bigger
enemies. Yeah, like those the missions where you have to kill like a certain percentage or whatever. They'll get to a point where you have like 10 Hulks running around and like 10 tanks, and now factory striders are a thing, so there's like 3 of those on your screen at a time, and so it's just like, and then you start dying to chaff really easy because you're trying to take down the bigger enemies and you just get swarmed. And
all of your loadout is just designed around killing the bigger enemies.
Yeah.
And so you have to take, anti-tank and then like 3 eagles to try and deal with all that, and none of that is really geared towards clearing chaff.
No.
And then your primary weapon sucks and can't do anything.
Yep, that's the other thing, that they've killed the primary weapons a lot of times. Like a really glaring example is the Eruptor, the shrapnel. That hurts so much.
It started out as such a good gun.
Oh my gosh, it was so great.
Oh, that's just classic Arrowhead though, right? They release a gun and the community goes, hey,
this is really great.
Gun is fun because it's effective because it works.
Yes.
And they were like, no, we can't have that.
Ban hammer on,
yeah.
fun hammer on
and
that.
then they just completely gutted it so that it couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And they've like come back on it a little bit, but it's not the same.
No, it's not even close to what it was.
But it's like, what's even the purpose of primary weapons? Because primary weapons can't kill anything.
Yeah. And some of the weapons in like during the balancing, especially, I can't remember when it was, but they had a big balance patch that they pushed out, and they buffed a lot of those primary weapons from like previous war bonds and stuff. And then some of the weapons just like get completely forgotten about, like the Liberator Penetrator doesn't do any more damage. It has less of a magazine than like just the baseline Liberator rifle. It's like, what is even the purpose of this gun anymore?
Well, they got so hung up on stupid shit where they wouldn't increase the mag size on things.
Oh my gosh!
Because it wasn't just like, oh well, we'll just put more bullets in it. It's like literally like just adding a number. But they were like, well, no, if we put more, if we give it a bigger mag, we have to alter the
damage number.
No, we have to alter the actual model of the gun so that it has a slightly bigger magazine. They wouldn't do balance changes because it would affect, like, it had all of these downstream effects on other things that they weren't willing to change. It's like, I don't care if the magazine looks slightly too small to house all of the bullets. Like, just put more fucking bullets in the gun. I don't care.
Yeah, it's just like during the game, you're not going to notice that. Like,
no.
Who cares?
I'll notice that I'm walking around the ship and my gun's way too big.
Yeah.
Just like comically oversized.
On your hip.
They're worried about doing balance changes to make
Based
the
off
game
appearance.
actually work because they need to also change the magazine size.
Yeah.
That commitment to like making it more realistic, like
which is ridiculous in this game's sense anyway, but
well, you have like, you have your like rules that you have to operate within.
Yeah.
Like to make things like the little like things that they do actually do add up to be a good experience. Like the fact that your stratagems, like when you have a cannon coming in from your destroyer,
ship,
it comes in at an angle because it's literally coming from your ship. Like
that's cool.
Yeah, like and the physics of most of the time.
Don't get ahead of yourself there.
The physics, like they behave in a way that you expect them to, and like those points of realism, like that adds to the game experience. And when you work within those physics and you can like do things that are kind of like outside of how the game was intended to operate, it's kind of like that sandbox mentality. How you approach like Breath of the Wild. They just built a physics engine, and things are possible within that engine that you don't expect them to be, and that just lends itself to like emergent gameplay, which is what keeps things fresh.
Yes.
But it seems like if you overcommit to that realism, then it just breaks down the fun.
Yep.
Because again, like primary weapons kind of just suck, and it doesn't matter which one you take because they just suck.
Yeah, just the one that I feel like I just get pigeonholed into the same one no matter what I'm fighting, and that's the sickle.
Yeah.
It has so many good things going for it. Great fire rate, no mag size.
Yeah, you can fire infinitely.
If you manage the heat, and you never run out of mags.
No. Like, they even nerfed the amount of mags that you get,
it didn't matter. Who cares?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. the one we need to praise him for a few things because we're just like
dogpiling.
I
mean, the game is
great,
fundamentally great.
Fundamentally,
it's fun. Just has a few problems.
Like the Senator buffs that they've given out.
Yeah.
Those were awesome changes.
We were married to that gun just because we liked it. And then they made it work.
Yeah,
it like had a place, it had a purpose because it had more penetration. It could actually deal with enemies. That's what makes a gun fun.
Yeah, and if they're worried about certain things just getting so overpowered that you just won't use your stratagems or whatever, like I don't think that's necessarily a problem.
I don't think so either.
Because I think people would still use certain stratagems no matter what. If your gun was like good enough to deal with most situations, you would still like take the stratagems.
Because
like support weapons, they're just fun to use.
Yeah.
Like it's all about just letting the player have fun on their own. Yeah, giving you multiple options to approach a challenge. Yeah. So say, for example, like chargers. Ugh.
chargers do give you several options to kill them. And I feel like they should probably make it more viable for primary weapons to deal with them. Like, do make it, like, slower. But if I shoot that thing in the ass with my primary weapon, I should be able to kill it. And I feel like every enemy should be like that.
Yes.
That they should all have a weakness that you can exploit with your primary weapon.
Or your secondary, whatever.
Yeah. But, like, not all of them are like that.
No.
Because, like, chargers are hard to kill with your primary, but you can do it. Bile Titans...
Zero. You can't do it.
If you, like...
Unless it's, like, you shoot it, like, for 10 minutes with a fire weapon.
I mean, even then, I don't know that you can kill it with a flamethrower.
I think you can.
Can you?
It just takes a long time.
See,
I feel like you've done that. I've seen you kill
I know
a Bile Titan
I've killed them with, like, an arc
flamethrower.
thrower, but I don't know if I've done it with a flamethrower.
That was another gun that I feel like they over-nerfed, was the arc thrower.
Yeah, R.I.P. arc thrower.
Palpatine gun.
But, like, getting back to my point, like, if you give your players multiple options to approach obstacles,
yes.
I don't think it makes the more powerful options, like,
less
obsolete.
valuable.
Yeah. Like, am I still going to throw an eagle strike on a group of enemies, even though I can technically
kill them
with my main gun? No, like, of course I'm going to use the jet doing a flyby to wipe shit out. Like,
yeah, we're all thinking that Tom Cruise is in that freaking jet and it's Top Gun, man. Yeah, it's just like, it's that moment, that hell yeah moment. You know?
It's that power fantasy. And just because I can kill a Bile Titan with my main gun doesn't mean that's what I'm going to do.
No.
It just means, like, that the more powerful tool just does it faster.
Yes. Efficiency.
Yeah. And then the skill becomes, like, managing those resources in a way to make sure that you can kill things quickly enough.
Yes.
But if you just absolutely cannot kill things, then you just have to, like, wait around for a cooldown, and that's not fun.
Yeah.
Like, what are you guys doing up there? You reloading?
Yeah.
Are you winning, son?
It's like that scene in Megamind when he's charging up the death ray to kill Metro Man, but it has to warm up first before you can use it. Warming up.
Or like in Spaceballs, or like, prepare for hyperspace. Like, what
are you always preparing for?
Just go.
You're always preparing. Just go. Just go. Don't you think you should sit down, sir? Oh, man.
So, let's see. What was the other thing? Oh, that was... Okay. I think the thing that, like, really grabbed me the most about Helldivers was just the potential of everything.
Yeah.
Because, like, when we had the basic game, like, it kind of became repetitive, but I think the thing that was always, like, in the back of your mind was just, like, what's next? And that was always so interesting. Like, ooh, what's this next planet going to be like? What are the new enemies going to be like? What new guns are we going to get? What new armor? Like, let's see some, like, you know, underground areas or urban areas.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I'm really sad they still haven't added is, like, fighting in, like, an actual urban city environment.
Well, I think that their small team size has just inhibited them. Like, they just have this growing list of, like, known bugs that they haven't been able to work on, and so they haven't been able to add new content because anytime they put anything new in the game, it just
breaks something
breaks everything.
Yep.
Like the mech suits, like, great
They're
idea.
still not fixed right now, by the way.
They still don't freaking work, and therefore they're not fun to use because you can't reliably hit shit.
Well, not only that, but they killed the rocket damage on those things.
Yeah.
It takes, like, your whole rocket arsenal to kill one Bile Titan.
You have this 10-minute long cooldown, and you get to use it for, like, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And your rockets don't even do enough damage now. Like,
and then the other mech that they put in was, like, supposedly, like, the bot mech.
Oh, yeah,
but
the autocannon.
The autocannon stuff just bounces off of all, like, the heavy armored stuff, and it has the same problem that the regular autocannon does, except you're less mobile and you're easier to hit. They should... Here's an idea to maybe improve the mechs, like, once they... Like, say you're inside a mech and it's getting destroyed. They should have, like, a doomsday mechanic from Halo Infinite kind of does this, where it starts blinking red before it blows up, so that you have some time to get out of the mech before it just kills you.
Oh, yeah. Like, so many inexplicable deaths. Just the stupid
just because you
things.
don't know how much health is on the thing.
Yeah.
There's no, like, visual indicator of like damage you've taken on the mech, and so
it
like,
just
you're
like starts
in
to
there,
smoke,
and you're like,
then,
no, I don't know. That'll buff right out. It's fine.
But like the potential of the mechs was so interesting.
Yeah.
Like so many people were like, "Oh, are we gonna get like a mech bay where we can like customize the arms and stuff?" And they've put out paint.
You can spray paint that thing. All the 2 things that we have out right now.
I know. Well, and like of course it's gonna take time for like more things to be built out and unlocked and stuff. But just. And I think that's the thing that like keeps me wanting the game to be good is because there is just that seed of potential. There are just a million different things that I hope they get to eventually.
100%.
Like we do want to see like more guns and more armor and more
that's all
and,
obvious stuff. Yeah.
Like more stratagems and whatever, but just like getting more creative with stuff too.
Yeah. I think more crossovers would be cool too, just like with other games. What with other games.
Crossover do you want to have in Helldivers?
Like Halo stuff, you know what I mean? Just like more stuff
they
inspired
already have
from
the Halo
other
thing
games.
In there.
I'm just saying more crossover stuff would be cool, okay? Like maybe the Doom shotgun. Let's put a double barrel shotgun in there. That's actually worth using.
I was gonna say they do have a double barreled shotgun.
Yeah, it's just
isn't worth a damn.
It's a meme, is what it is. But
everything just needs to like they need to take the floor and just raise it up because like a double barreled shotgun is cool and it should be fun to use, but if it doesn't do any damage, then
I think it's in there
use
as like a joke.
I don't care.
I would love to make it feel viable.
It's not the only weapon that's like that.
Yeah, well, yeah, the scythe,
the purifier.
Oh my gosh.
What
a sorry excuse for a gun that is.
I took that into a bot mission one time, like really early on, and it just didn't do anything.
You go to like headshot like a tiny mob, and it was just like
basic enemies.
It's like Randy Marsh from South Park. Hey, Bat Dad, I didn't hear no bell.
It's like I can't even kill like the basic mobs. What's the point of this gun?
Well, and the splash damage just doesn't work either.
No.
What is splash damage on that gun?
I think it still is not good.
No.
The last I heard. I mean, we
haven't played it
in a while,
seriously for a long time, and so we don't know the extent of how things function now. But
I definitely think we burned ourselves out on it.
We 100% did, yeah. And
it was just
they couldn't keep
fun,
up with people that like to play it every day, and
yeah, and it's. I feel like if we had taken a more sustainable approach to that game, then we might still be playing it regularly. But
I think us as gamers are incapable of doing that with something new like that.
Yeah, well, it just kind of filled that gap that we had with
co-op games, yeah. Co-op games in general. I love playing with my buddies.
Yeah.
Single player games are fun and all, but the teamwork aspect of games is what I love the most.
Oh, that is something we should talk about. The teamwork aspect of Helldivers, it feels like there's a lot of teamwork, but then there actually kind of isn't. And I posted on Reddit about this, and it actually
gained some traction. Yeah,
did some pretty good numbers.
You got all that free Reddit karma.
But like just something as simple as like team reloading, just not being viable at all because it just doesn't function in a way that is viable.
Well, yeah, it's extremely niche.
Yeah, like niche to the point of it just not even being worth doing.
Yeah.
Like it could be powerful. Like when it works, it's like so strong.
Yeah, and you have to really go out of your way to do that. Because either like we were talking about the other night, you have to either bring in the same weapon as the other person so that you have the backpack already. Or you have to wait for the other person to call in another one. Or the other person has to drop their backpack, you pick it up, and then you do it. Like, it just...
Yeah, it's not just situational, it's conditional.
Yes, exactly.
And that makes it so annoying to try and use. Whereas if they just made it that if you could just reload them from their own backpack, which logistically makes so much more sense, but it would solve a lot of those... Like, it would just eliminate so many of those friction points for using that mechanic.
Just make it more accessible.
Yeah,
Make it easier to do.
Yeah. And that's just like one little point, like one little aspect of teamwork that exists in the game already, but just nobody uses because it's too clunky to actually do. But then when you try to get to like other aspects of teamwork, they just kind of don't exist in the game. Mm-hmm. It's like how many of the objectives really benefit from
having
like,
two
teamwork?
people. Yeah.
Like you have the ICBM thing where you have to go out and like pull up the
Lift
things.
the things, yeah.
But that's not something that you can't just reasonably do yourself.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't take that much longer
No.
for you to run out there and do it.
No.
Like there's just not too many opportunities or even need for teamwork.
Yeah, like the only one that's like completely necessary for two people is the friendship doors. Friendship doors. That's the only thing where it requires absolutely you need to have two people for those.
See, and even that's
that's optional.
Because if you ping the door, it doesn't say like, "Hey, there's a vault over here. Come help me with it." The guy just says like, "Look." Like there's not like a context clue for you to be like, "Oh, they're trying to tell me that there's a friendship door over here."
This
and
is assuming you're not playing with people on comms.
Yeah. Like just within the game, the one thing that requires teamwork doesn't give you tools to communicate that you need help. Oh, that's so frustrating. Like I've had so many instances in
playing
like
with randoms.
Randoms where like they ping a thing and I like
what's even over there?
I see that they do it and like I know what they're trying to do, but I'm like halfway across the map.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, just like make that actually work so that if you ping the door, it tells the rest of your team, like, I need you to come here to help me open the door.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why not more of the objectives are built that way, because they don't have communication tools for it.
Well, they do. Just people in this generation, I think, don't like using voice chat because they don't like talking to random people because random people are awful most of the time.
Yeah, there are some like bad griefing things that
it's horrendous.
They need to build some more protections for it. And like, how do people still not know that samples are shared?
I don't think that they don't know that. They're just assholes.
Ugh.
I think that's really what it comes down to. Like I said, man, gamers are
a bunch of dirtbags.
Freaking like the most spiteful group of people. Like it's
weird.
just so sad.
Or like people will get to extraction and then kick people
at the end just because
so that they don't get the samples or something. Like why?
Like, hey,
why?
Glad I could help you out and do that. Thanks for rewarding me for responding to the distress beacon.
I don't know what the ideal fix for those situations is, but man, that is really, really frustrating.
I mean, the most obvious one is just don't be a dick, but
yeah, Helldivers 2, don't be a dick.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was kind of the whole like fun part of it initially too, though, was that everybody was just so like into almost the role play aspect.
Oh, the camaraderie was insane.
They did such a good job like building the game, like the fundamental building blocks of it were just there that you just wanted to help people, right?
Yeah.
But and then the game got popular and trolls came in and ruined shit.
Yeah, that's what happens, man. All the people that you don't want near your game start coming to your game because everybody else is playing it, and they're like, how can I be an asshole today?
Yeah. And then you only want to play with your friends, and
that limits
always
things
around.
even more. And so if your friends aren't playing, you're not going to play.
Yeah, it's like the couple of times that like Taylor and I have jumped in to play. It's like he and I are coordinating, but like the other two people
guys are just kind of doing their own thing. Yeah,
they're usually so bad at the game. I think that there's like this like gamer mentality where if you're not playing at the most difficult, like you're not.
Then you're not well, it's the Elden Ring thing, right? If you're using summons, you're not playing the real game.
Yeah,
if you're power stancing bleed weapons, you're not playing the real game. If you're using spells, you're not playing the real game.
Yeah,
and I kind of
you're gonna get your gamer card revoked.
Yeah, and I kind of used to fall into that category, and then it's just like, well, let people play how they freaking want to.
Yeah,
don't be a douchebag
and that's
about
like
things.
Not a problem with the game as much as just like
the
a broader
cultural
issue.
That way, yeah. Well, and every time and when we were all playing Elden Ring together, every time after a boss you'd kill, you'd be like, I only used one spell during it. Did I actually beat it? If I'm playing on difficulty 7, did I actually, complete the operation? Is that real?
Yeah. I honestly think they need to reduce the number of difficulties down to like 5.
Yeah, and have...
That's still like way too many, but it just seems like overcomplicated.
Well, like the higher the difficulty is, like, the more muddled it gets. Like, the only real difference between all the difficulties, I feel like, is samples. That's it.
Yeah.
Because to a certain point, you're going to get swarmed and have so many enemies on the screen that it just doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah, we've definitely had some, like, difficulty 7 missions that were harder than difficulty 9s.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the difference was.
Just, like, spawn rates just don't matter.
Yeah.
Anymore. They just come.
And I wonder if that is just like an invisible problem that we just are never going to ever figure out or know why, or if it's like you play a certain way and just got lucky with spawns or the map you were on.
That's another thing with spawns. Like, I saw a picture on Reddit today. I was looking at the map. There was 2 stratagem jammers right next to each other and a gunship tower.
Oh,
all clumped in the same spot. And I was like, how do you win?
It's like I hope all 4 of you took autocannons because otherwise you're screwed.
Well, it's just like, I love the procedurally generated stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes all of the operations feel like really fresh and stuff, but getting really unlucky like that, especially on a really high difficulty mission, spawns are going to be crazy anyway, but not being able to use your stratagems on top of like a gunship, like I've never seen a more unlucky map than that. I don't think.
And I think that kind of goes into like what we were talking about, like primary weapons. Like gunships are so frustrating to take out if you don't have the right gun.
The specific tools, yeah.
And now they just have them like as patrols. They'll just show up even if the map doesn't have gunship fabricators. They're just out there. And it's like, unless you have like one of 3 different guns, you cannot kill them. It's like autocannon, spear, and
it feels bad to use eats is really good, but it feels bad to use spear ammunition on those things.
Yeah,
because it's just like I could have killed a tank and a factory strider with this ammo, but now I've killed like 4 gunships and they're still spawning.
Yeah. Like you've got to make them so that they're not that like they're easy to take out with primary weapons, but more primary weapons should be able to kill those things. Also,
one other gripe I have with the fabricators specifically, you have to use hell bombs to kill them. You can't use like 500 kgs or whatever else like you can for most other structures.
I saw the other day that you can apparently kill them with mini nukes from the artillery.
Okay. Well, that's really situational.
Yeah. But that, I guess it's not just hell bombs.
Oh, okay. Also, buff the health on the hell bombs. Don't let the enemies kill them so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. That's really
also
annoying.
Another stratagem, arrowhead. Please buff the big shield. Please.
Oh,
make that better.
It needs way more.
That
health.
thing has so much potential to be good. Just remove the damage threshold and just put it on a timer.
Yeah, for real.
Please. That's all you need to do, and that thing would be so fun to take into stuff.
Yeah, it's like raising the floor for all stratagems would help a lot, but the dome specifically.
The dome shield is so cool, but the fact that it has a damage threshold makes it irrelevant.
I've tried so many times with like my Gibby build that I try out, and it just feels like I don't have a stratagem because I throw it out, it goes up, and I'm like,
2 seconds it's gone.
Safety, my brothers, and then it just like because it just tanks like 3 rockets and then it's dead.
Yeah.
Well, and here's another thing that we can talk about. The discrepancy between the bots and the bugs.
Yeah.
Like, the bots, I like that they require a completely different strategy and play style, and that different stratagems work really, really good for them that don't work for bugs. But I do feel like that bugs are just consistently more fun to fight.
See, and that's your opinion, because I'm of the opposite feeling. I love the bots way more than the bugs, just because I like like you were saying, the different arsenals and stuff you use. I just prefer the arsenals that are better against the bots than the bugs way more.
You're definitely the minority.
I know, yeah.
Because the community will go nuts for any bug major orders and kind of ignore bot major orders because they just don't have fun with those. And I think like buffing stratagems like the bubble shield,
Yep,
I
bubble
think
shield.
that would help tremendously with getting people to fight the...
Make it almost kind of
bots.
like a pseudo bubble shield from Halo 3. You just be able to shoot out of it.
Yep.
But nothing else can get in.
I think you are way more likely to just get like ragdolled to oblivion fighting bots, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like the rocket devastators in particular, like they just...
Well, even landing on tanks with hell pods. That'll just kill you.
Yeah. It's stupid stuff like let me just kill it. Like I can kill a Bile Titan like that.
Yep.
But I can't kill a tank
because
like
of
that.
the explosion. Well, you can. You just die too.
Yeah. Is it worth your life to kill one tank like that?
Yeah, especially on a difficulty like 8 or 9 mission where there's like 4 or 5 of them chasing you.
I think that if you hit the vent in the back with your hell pod, it should just kill it.
Yeah.
I think it should.
Well, and
I
half
don't
the
think
time
it should fling you halfway across the map for doing that.
Half the time, it just doesn't even kill it. Your hell pod just doesn't do damage. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, oh, okay. I'm here now.
Yeah. But like doing something like giving the rocket devastators like a reload period.
Yeah.
Because realism is important to Arrowhead.
Yeah.
But for some reason
They shoot
you don't
like
have
every
to
2
reload
seconds.
rockets. Like come on.
Yeah. Yeah. They
have to create situations that you can deal with, because if you're just gonna like poke your head out and then get ragdolled over and over and over again,
the amount of times that you like go to peek
there.
a devastator and it knows exactly when you're gonna peek because it can see you through the rock because it's AI, right? But like as soon as you poke out, just domed.
Yeah. And it's not that the bugs are without issues either. I don't think a charger should be able to sneak up on me.
You should be able to hear it coming, yeah.
Yeah, they need to make a lot more noise when they're that close to you.
Yep.
Or like the number of times that I've been one shot by a bile spewer that came up behind me, and I didn't
and supposedly
know it was
they
there.
fixed it, and then they didn't.
No, it's still basically the same.
Well, and I know they fixed this a little while ago. I don't know how long it's been, but the slow amount from the
from the acid spit.
No, from the smaller ones, smaller versions of the stalkers.
Yeah, the hunters.
Mm-hmm. That was the number one reason I hated the bugs more than the bots. That specific enemy and that status effect pissed me off more often than getting ragdolled by rockets. Because at least with the rockets, I had a chance to like maybe move another way and not get hit by them. These stupid things, they come in, there's so many of them, and as soon as one hits you, they're all going to hit you. Because you're slowed, and you have no way of getting rid of the effect.
There was a booster that was supposed to reduce the amount of slow.
The shocking, like electroshock thing.
Is that what it was?
I can't remember what it was called.
I do love their like descriptions on everything. They're consistently really
kind of
funny.
feels like old school like Halo 2 descriptions of like things.
Yeah.
Like you remember the legendary description or whatever. Your enemies will. I can't remember exactly what it is. I'm going to butcher it if I try to go see it.
We'll put it in here, but it was legitimately funny. I remember.
Yeah, you will not survive.
You will not survive.
Yeah, That's the energy I get from a lot of that stuff.
But something that I think that like I've seen suggested is like a ship upgrade that's like some sort of scanner that will tell you the enemy composition before you drop.
That would be really cool.
That would be so nice. It's like, so we're going to see.
We're going to see biospewers.
Okay, cool. I can prepare for that.
Yeah.
Because I can get I can bring the eruptor to deal with them, or I can bring a secondary that will deal with them. But if you don't know that those are in your operation when you drop down, they become such a problem if you don't have a very specific couple of things to deal with them.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it's so weird that some of those only show up sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and I hope that they continue to build out the enemy variety. Mm-hmm.
Well, this big update, they're bringing in a lot of more things to kill you. I don't know, necessarily that they're giving you even more tools, though.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
I do like it when they shadow drop stuff, though. I much prefer that. Like they showed the spore charger in the trailer, and I think that would have been so much more fun to just oh shit.
Oh, hey, it's there.
Because when they did with the flying bastards,
the shriekers,
those were just a shadow drop. They just started showing up, And people
same thing with the factory striders too.
Yeah, they would just
started
show up
seeing them
in a couple people's game. They just very slowly rolled out. And I thought that was so cool because that kind of leans into that like community aspect.
Well, and then when you see one finally, you're like, hey,
oh, Leo meme. Like,
yeah, hey, here I come, here I come.
Yeah, I guess suffice to say, like,
and that's AAA gaming for you though. Like, they build out all these things in these trailers to, like, generate hype and stuff, but, like, just putting them in without the player base knowing and then finding it on their own, I feel like is so much more effective.
So much more fun. Like,
because then it's a word-of-mouth thing, right? Your friends tell your friend. Like, I don't know. I feel like that has more weight to it than putting it in a trailer.
I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Like, definitely, like, you got to put, like, the new armor and weapons into trailers. Because, like, that's our side. We're announcing, like, you can now purchase more things for your little army guys.
How come we have intel on that stuff already? You know?
Well, and
what
and
else
if you
is
wanna,
Super Earth hiding from us?
If you want to, like, present it in that way, like, to lean into the more, like, role-playing aspects of things, like, show it in-game on the TV screens or whatever.
Sightings of this, such and such enemy have been seen on these planets.
Yeah.
So plan accordingly,
Yeah. Instead of it being dropped in like a gameplay trailer.
Yeah, let's make it all hype and sync it up to music.
Yeah, on the PlayStation official YouTube channel.
Yeah, because PlayStation is super popular right now.
Dude, the game is still blocked in so many countries.
That's just so sad.
I want my review bomb flag, or my review bomb cape.
Yeah, no kidding.
When's that coming out?
Yeah, and I think that killed the momentum of the game, that whole situation. That completely killed it for so many people.
I still think that it can come back. The numbers that I've been kind of just seeing, because even though I don't play much, I still have that stupid app on my phone that tells me like what planets are being taken in major orders and stuff, and like the player numbers are still pretty healthy.
Yeah. But looking between, like, Steam might not be as what it was, but I think PlayStation player counts are still pretty high.
Yeah, well, you'll still get like 50,000 people playing on a weekend.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I mean, that's pretty healthy for a live service game that's been out for 6 months.
With no like recent updates, they've like slowed down on things a little bit. Like, I know when they were experiencing their big surge early on, they said that PlayStation was throwing a bunch of money at them so that they could hire more developers.
And I think they have.
It just takes a while for that stuff to like ramp up. I mean, you'll be training people for 6-8 months, even up to a year before they really start to be effective in those roles. So it might be another 6 months, quarter two next year before they like really gain their footing.
Another thing too, that has like, I feel like affected the player base negatively is like all these people like leaking things and not letting people be surprised, right?
Right.
Like, we've heard rumors and things about the Illuminate coming in and whatever, and
I'm glad they haven't released them yet.
100%, yeah. And I hope that it's a surprise, that it's not a trailer that gets put out on YouTube that people see. I really hope
announce it in game.
That is like, something in the game that happens, and they're like, hey, did you see this happen in the game? The new faction's coming. That's going to be way cooler than putting it in a trailer and spoiling the surprise.
I wonder...
And, like, back to the leak thing, though, we've seen the models and stuff for some of the enemies already because of leaks.
Oh, months and months ago. I have to wonder if they were planning on releasing them, but they've just been bogged down by other issues in the game.
Yeah, that's true.
If that's prevented them from being able to actually release stuff.
Yeah, maybe. I think you're right.
I hope that they just continue to wait until they're ready.
Yeah, that could be a really cool, like, year anniversary thing.
Right.
Really polish that up and get all the issues worked out of that faction, because there's going to be different interactions and things like that with those. Really polish that out, and that could be a really cool year anniversary update. Totally
agree.
Yeah. Yep.
Just, I kind of feel like even with this new big update, I'm just going to be in like wait and see mode for a while.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. I'm kind of skeptical about it because like it looks really freaking cool, but will it break other stuff when they put it out? What like the thing is, you look at the patch notes and you like go in like, oh, this is cool. And like, oh, but this is broken and doesn't work anymore. Cool, going to avoid that. Oh, this is also broken and doesn't work anymore. Cool. How much other stuff is broken and isn't functional anymore.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess that's ultimately where we're at. Like, the game has so much potential, but they do have just so many obstacles to overcome.
It just feels like this really steep incline of problems that they have to work through all the time. Mm-hmm. And we're all rooting for you, Arrowhead.
We want you to succeed.
Want you to succeed, despite what we're saying.
We're passionate because we care.
We scare because we care. Yeah. Like, we wouldn't record, how long we've been going here. I don't even know how long we've been talking about this, but we wouldn't do this long of a discussion if we didn't care about the game.
Yeah, we want it to be good because we want to play it. And it just needs to be fun above all else. If it's not fun to play, then there's just no point.
Yeah.
And like, fun doesn't mean like easy. It just means that you have to have options to leverage your skill to overcome challenges.
Yes.
And overcoming a cooldown is not a fun challenge.
Yeah. This is a very specific example, and I remember doing this. You guys were all dead. I'm running around the extraction point with a jetpack, just bobbing and weaving. And I will never forget that moment. That was one of my favorite gaming moments in my life. So this game hits. Just needs to hit more.
More of the weapons need to hit.
Spoiler alert, I died at the end and we failed. I still loved it, though. Oh, wait.
I feel like I remember that game. Yeah. We were on an ice planet.
No. It was a jungle. It was jungle planet.
There was one situation where it was just you and I left. We both had like jetpacks, and we were like
bobbing and weaving and
running around and trying to wait out the timer for the ship to come.
Yeah.
And just couldn't quite do it.
No, yeah.
I have a video somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I have so many clips. This game is so clippable.
Yeah, just so many.
This whole video has just been like all the clips that I didn't know what to do with, just running in the background. That's what I'm going to do with all of these.
That's going to be fun to edit through, yeah.
I might just like stick them in there.
Well, and we had so many that's the other thing too that kind of makes me disappointed. We had so many grand plans for like different videos and stuff we wanted to make, different concepts for things, and we put out a few of them, but
just got bogged down
got bogged down by nerfs and major bugs and
the videos that we're making were kind of contingent on more things being viable.
Yeah, because they had to be functional. That was one of our rules.
Yeah. So it was like, have this like stupid idea for like an all turret thing, the Gazlo build.
Yeah.
That one would have been so funny. But,
yeah.
And maybe they have made turrets better.
Yeah, they have.
But like the thing that kind of killed that for me was like the mech suit didn't work like it was supposed to.
Yep.
And also they made it so that you couldn't put stratagems on high ground.
Yeah, that was another thing.
That was so
really
annoying.
The
it's
fun.
Like if I want to put a turret up on that cliff, it's not going to break the game.
No.
Just let me put a turret up on high ground.
Yeah.
Well, it's not going to it's not overpowered. It's so frustrating to like throw your thing and just have it bounce to some stupid place, and then you've wasted your 3-minute.
The other thing too, like mission specific stratagems when they would do that. When you couldn't put it
too.
Like a hell bomb that you're trying to put in a specific spot, and it would just roll around for like 2 minutes, and you're just like, okay, I'm dead. I can't do it anymore.
It didn't do that in the beginning either.
No.
They fixed it so that it didn't do that anymore.
They fixed it so much it broke.
It ruins the fun when you take options away from people.
Yeah. This isn't a competitive online multiplayer PvP shooter, guys.
Yeah, it's explicitly
PvE. We're not saying make everything broken, because like the philosophy that make everything broken so none of it is broken, that's not a good philosophy to have.
No.
Just don't take away the things that work good. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway,
it's like if something is fun to do, you need to lean into that rather than remove it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to say. I couldn't find the words.
Yeah, like landing on high ground.
Yeah.
And then trying to, defend your little cliff or whatever. Like it's not broken, like, because it's like, okay, well, maybe you defend yourself while you're up there. How do you get down?
Yeah, how do you get down? Yep.
It's like it doesn't like remove, or it doesn't make you overpowered. It's just if you take those options away, and then you're like, why can't I do that?
Yep. Yeah.
It's just frustrating and not fun anymore.
Yep. Yeah. They fixed their game so much that they broke it.
Fixed the fun right out of it.
Yep.
Anyway, I hope they figure it out.
Me too. We're rooting for you, Arrowhead.
Do it. I'm trying to think of a sign off here. And
I don't know. Do we do the douche tuber thing?
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And if you're not, you're a commie bot.
Yeah. Oh god.
Those are real people. There's real people doing that.
Okay, yeah. 2 things for the douche tubers out there. Stop starting your videos with,
"What's up, YouTube?
Hey guys, welcome back to another Helldivers video." I immediately click away from that shit.
Because you know what? I knew it was a Helldivers video when I clicked on it.
And stop begging people to subscribe before you do anything. Demonstrate value, then ask for a like or a subscribe. I'm not going to do it until I know that I like you. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Perfect. I think that's a great outro. Bam.
Done.